university, Queen's. We were studying film, so that's how we all got to know each other.
I think it was Ben and I first. Originally, you definitely got in touch with Ross here. But Ben and I kind of wanted to start a band in first year of uni. And we were just kind of big like Courtney Barnett fans and parquet courts and things like that. And then we got in touch with Ross and started jamming together, and that's kind of how it started.
I feel we're quite visual in our songwriting as well, like an image or an idea or a scene can kind of inspire so much, and maybe, especially earlier on, maybe when we didn't have the musical terminology to describe something, we would like say like a sound like this sounds like, I don't know, like a candle being hit or something like that. That was how we could kind of explain these things we wanted to create to each other. But that's a big part of us and how we create music.
We all kind of are drawing from different inspirations ourselves that we bring into the group. And so for us, it was kind of trying to find a way to incorporate different genres, because we thought, you know, you could go with just the full punk rock, noise road, or you could try something new that felt a bit fresh. So for us, it was just trying to find a way to incorporate those and all our interests together, you know.
And then I think we just always wanted to explore electronica and that sort of experimentation with different instruments, drum machines and synthesizers and more hardware. And our producer's been great for that as well, showing us how to explore that.
I mean, definitely the just massive like 4 to the floor kick drum sound, because like that was like the thing throughout the first EP. It was just in every track, and that was like that's what really strung all the tracks together and like opened the dance world in a way, because a lot of those tracks were punky and more kind of rock oriented, but they always had that underbelly of like just 1, 2, 3, 4 kick drum. That's always been like one of the loudest things we want to have in a mix, or when we're working on a track, just have something pounding through it. And that would definitely be it has to be inspired by club experiences we've had and listening to that kind of music. So
just DJs, like, you know, mixing, like we used to just transition each track into the other, and we're still developing that, so we sort of wanted to feel like it's a seamless set, like there is a DJ up playing like our songs and there's not much gaps, even though there are gaps in the set tonight. But I think we're working towards maybe getting like a solid hour of a set down, and that's like you can come in and it just does not stop. I think about sort of like the audience, maybe, and like people could come from those different sort of, like going to raves or going to like punk rock gigs, and maybe we could sort of bridge that gap, so it's like the crowd is kind of mixed. And we've said in the past where sometimes people don't really know whether to, you know, rave or to mosh.
In the Netherlands, it's just straight, just go nuts kind of vibe. Back home, you know, our home crowds are pretty rowdy as well in Belfast. They usually just get stuck in pretty early. But it's fun to observe that. Like, there's definitely, that's why we kind of write the set that way. So it's not just constant bash the whole way through. Like, we have these moments where we're kind of judging, oh, how are the crowd going to react here, and then we can play off that. And it's fun to interact with the crowd in that way.
It's quite, maybe we find it a little bit difficult because we get asked all the time what our genre is, or how would you describe our band, and I know, I think we're like saying like alternative now, because that's quite broad, but people have been very open as well. We haven't really found that we've been too kind of pigeonholed, and that hasn't maybe been the biggest problem for us, which we've heard from other people, or maybe a few years ago that might have been more of a problem, but people seem to just kind of connect with loud music that's also kind of joyous but also a bit angry, and yeah, people kind of are quite open to seeing a lot of the spectrum of emotion, I think, really.
We always got trauma techno, which was quite funny. Berghain rock.
Yeah.
Just something ridiculous.
We didn't come up with them.
We didn't say those things.
Yeah.
But we've been saying them.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if you look online, you'll see trauma techno across a few articles, I think.
Yeah.
We never wanted to be just one, really. I think genuinely is hard to answer that, because you're always just thinking of the next thing and new ideas, and definitely like Ross is playing a lot more with samples now, so it really is going down that electronic road, but I wouldn't just call it electronic, because we still have that, there's that punk and that rock ethos that will always be in us, you know, as like just fans of like indie rock over the years. So it's hard to come up with one, but yeah, we'll go for trauma techno for a laugh, I think.
As we get bigger, just our influences grow, and we just want to keep trying to expand our creative process and get more creative individuals like as we can into the project, just so we can learn from them. Hopefully it can become like a symbiotic relationship. Yeah, I suppose just growing, kind of expanding on what chalk can be, I suppose, and hopefully that grows with us as people, I think is the idea.
We've always sort of said like a universe or something, or like
Yeah.
a world, building the world, and that's sort of where Conditions came in, and the music video. Well, yeah, we're writing an album.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But for now, Conditions is there's a pin in it. So it was nice to sort of round off with the trilogy and move on now into something that will feel new to us, a new world to sort of create.
This tour is kind of like the end of that world for us. Like, this tour is really exciting. And touring these 3 EPs together is an amazing way to cap it off for us. But I think once this tour is done, it's going to be very much just back to the lab and getting stuck into those new tunes. And we can't wait to just keep that coming for people and hopefully surprise people with the next release. And yeah, we're really excited about the future.